feel like a king, oh yeah. Baby, can't help but stare. Such a rush, baby. Oh, when you touch me, baby. Such a rush, baby. When you love me, baby.
Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to Viva ENT. Eric C.C. Ryder here with you now. Johnny the Capo, your host of the show, unable to make it in today, but you will hear him talking, because coming up here in just a few minutes, we've got an excellent encore interview with Garry Tallent from Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band. Stay tuned for that. That's coming up right after the break. And coming up at the half hour, we're going to be welcoming back Gretchen Christopher, who was the singer and real force behind the group The Fleetwoods. We've had her on the show before, and she's always a great guest. Jerry Osborne, our talent coordinator, is going to be talking with her once again. So stay tuned. That's all coming up here on today's Viva ENT.
Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at SaturnBarter.com.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rentals specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Ready to shake things up? Try Alternative Talk 1150.
No matter what you say, Charlene, 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 come on, baby, don't cause a scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. This is your host, Johnny the Capo, with my producer, Mr.
Hey, it's Eric C.C. Ryder.
We have Jerry Osborne, our talent coordinator, on the line with our special guest artist today. Jerry, please introduce our gentleman.
He is the one whose song you just heard to open the show with.
Cool.
And that tune, Charlene, was just recently voted by the general public on Little Steven's Underground Garage internet show as one of the 10 coolest songs of 2016. Now, that's pretty complimentary, Gary, and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, I got a kick out of that. It's made the top 10.
It did, and was there an inspiration behind Charlene, such as maybe somebody you knew?
Well, it was actually written. An ex-girlfriend kind of said, "Well, why don't you ever write any songs about me?" And I came up with that. That's why she's my ex-girlfriend.
Well, she may have wanted to know about the song that was out in 1961 by the T-Birds called Charlena. You know that one?
True. I do know that one. And,
I'm not surprised.
It's kind of hard to find a girl's name that hasn't been used. But, yes. Well, Charlene, if you remember the Andy Griffith show, they had a bluegrass band on there, the family band, and now I forget their names. But anyway, Charlene was the girl in the family. That was our inspiration for the name.
Well, it's certainly a great record, and it's on your album, Break Time, one of many great songs on there. And we're going to talk about that here in a moment. But let's just get to what probably most people associate you with, and that is being a founding member with Bruce Springsteen of the E Street Band way back in 1971 or 72. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. 71.
Now, that's a few years before he really started charting regularly with records. So what were you guys doing in the meantime?
Playing clubs and starving.
Yeah.
And listening to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Well, you're a record collector yourself, and a big-time record collector, and I know that you were fascinated with a lot of the rockabilly music in the 50s, and especially Buddy Holly and the Johnny Burnett Trio and Elvis, of course, and maybe a lot of other records that were recorded at Sun Records because they were kind of the heart and soul of that music. And so tell us how that affected you as a young person in the 50s and early 60s.
Well, I'm not really sure what drew me to that, to the music. I just, I was a kid. I had an older brother, and he would bring home records from dances and stuff, and I would just kind of listen to them. But for some reason, I was just attracted to. Well, I loved it all. I really did. I loved the R&B. I loved the vocal groups. But what really stood out to me was all the New Orleans, a lot of the specialty records, and the New Orleans, and I know they're California label, but and the Zydeco and all that swamp music, even Jimmy Clanton. I just thought, Jimmy Clanton had this great thing in his voice. He did. That a lot of the Delta people had. And I just always was attracted to that, and of course. Buddy Holly had the hiccup, and and Eddie Cochran had the Amos and Andy, little thing. Everybody had their own little quirks.
Yeah.
They were all so individual and such great singers. I just fell in love with all of it.
You're really right about Jimmy Clanton. You don't hear a lot about him much, but he definitely had a unique voice, and his voice was very, very, very cool.
Yeah, something about the water down there. Same with Frankie Ford. That it's hard to explain exactly, but it just came out of the Delta, out of the that area, and it's just something that I've always loved.
Yeah.
Well, I think the name Jack Vincent is one thread that is common in all of these people you're talking about.
Well, Johnny Vincent was, I got to know, or I got to meet Johnny Vincent back in the 70s when I was out in Jackson, Mississippi, looking for records.
Of course.
He was quite a character. I don't know, is he still with us? Probably not.
I'm not sure, but I think not.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably only in his 40s or so when I met him. He wasn't, but of course, I was in my 20s. I thought anybody, in the 30s, he was all over,
Well, last week, our guest on this very show was Gretchen Christopher, the founder and lead singer and pretty much the one behind the Fleetwoods. And I was intrigued when I listened to an interview that you were doing, and you and I talked about this just about an hour ago, and in that interview, you mentioned something about you really like the Fleetwoods, and I thought it was so interesting because we just had her on last week.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I've just always loved the Fleetwoods. and and sometimes, you have guilty pleasures, and I would say, yeah, well, people go through my collection. I have every Fleetwood record ever made.
No kidding.
And people would say, the Fleetwoods? And I go, hey, it's a guilty pleasure. But more and more people are going, oh, there's no guilt involved there. That's just great stuff.
Well, it certainly is. And have you ever met Gretchen or talked to her?
I have not.
I'd like to arrange a telephone conversation between the two of you.
Well, that would be really cool.
She would love to know that you appreciated her music like that. That's fantastic.
Well, that's funny. I mean, well, I guess they're from Washington State, are they not?
Yeah, she lives in Olympia, still does, a very, very good friend of mine. And now that you're a friend of mine, we need to all get together and talk. But she will be thrilled to know that you said what you did, because that's not something she hears every day.
Yeah, I agree.
That shocks me because, I mean, they had hit after hit after hit, and they were always to the soft side. But I just thought that was, well, even I've always been attracted to. I love the shouters. I love them all. That's the bottom line. But I love the voice where nobody's really trying to. It's just like it's easy. It's like syrupy. It's like silk. It just comes out. It just pours out effortlessly, and I was always attracted to that part of it too.
Yeah, they actually did have a very, very unique harmony sound, and
indeed,
and probably, if you think about it, they probably, and I'm sure they didn't think about it, but they were probably a little bit ahead of their time as far as harmonies go.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I would think. What say you, Jerry?
Well, I think that's a good possibility. I can't just say categorically that that's the case, but it could be. I hadn't thought about it until you mentioned it, quite frankly.
The fact of the matter is, when that song came out, which I believe was 57, correct, Jerry?
58.
58. 58, 59-ish.
59 was their big year. They had Come Softly to Me and Mr. Blue were both number one in 59.
Correct, exactly. Mm-hmm. So
well, I think Tragedy was the first thing that I had heard.
And that would have been in 61, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
61 or 2, yeah. It was after Thomas Wayne had the big hit of Tragedy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, maybe it was that version that I heard. I don't, I listened to it all.
So basically, there wasn't really a whole lot of harmony going on in 59, with all the other pop artists that were out that year.
Not that kind of harmony.
Exactly.
There was plenty of group harmony.
Right.
But it was just a lot more raw.
Correct.
And they had that sweet and innocent sound, including Garry Troxell, the lead. He sang the melodies. I don't really call him the lead singer. It really was an ensemble thing.
Now, Gretchen doesn't either. Right, John?
Oh, shit.
But she explained how important it was when they found him to sort of tie the whole thing together, because just she and Barbara alone didn't really create the sound that they envisioned. So Garry he was the final piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's it. Just a combination of all the whatever was going on there was just a very great, a great sound. And plus the cool songs. They had great songs. I believe even Randy Newman was one of the writers on a couple of the B-sides. So they really drew from some talented, unknown at the time writers.
So how did somebody born in Detroit end up meeting Bruce Springsteen?
Well, I was born in Detroit, but I moved to New Jersey in my teens, and I guess he was already there. So I had moved around quite a lot, and that's just kind of where I landed.
Were you playing the tuba when he first discovered you?
Well, I was still playing the tuba, yes. But I'd kind of, as far as the rock and roll bands, they tended to like the electric bass better than the tuba.
Yeah. See, that's a side of you a lot of people don't know.
The tuba part?
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that a lot of people didn't know what a bass guitar did when we were kids. Most bands didn't have a bass, didn't have any idea what it was supposed to do. So when the Beatles came over and all the English bands, and they all had bass players.
Right.
So everybody decided they had to have a bass player, and being a tuba player, I kind of already knew inherently what that role was.
Yeah. So hammering those bass notes, yeah.
So how did you get recruited to be part of this newly formed band?
Well, we were all just kids, and we all wound up in this one club in Asbury Park. It was called the Upstage. And whenever we weren't playing, out and about, we would all gather at this place where you just showed up, and instruments were already there, and the amplifiers were already there, and that audience was already there. And it was a teen club, sort of. It was a coffee house, and they just allowed you to play anything you wanted to. You didn't have to play even a song. You just get up there and jam on a blues progression for an hour at a time, and people dug it. And so that was just a great education.
Wow.
Yeah, open mic.
Yeah, a constant open mic, exactly.
I know Bruce Springsteen's influences were, I know he loved Roy Orbison, and I know he really liked Elvis, too. But you don't really hear a lot of Roy and Elvis in his singing style. What do you think was his other icons or idols that he was really into?
Well, there were several, and probably mostly from the English invasion. Eric Burden, of course.
I would say, yeah. Now that you say.
Paul Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the lead singer with Manfred Mann? Paul Jones is the voice I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Paul Jones.
And I think I hear a lot of that. But, also Dion, had a big influence on Bruce's singing.
Yeah,
we all stole from everywhere.
Right, exactly. And that's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. And you're right. You're absolutely right. All artists grab a little bit of this and a little bit of that from everybody. For instance, Michael Jackson, Jackie Wilson, James Brown. I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah, and James Brown listened to Little Willie John.
That's correct.
A lot of him in James's work. Yeah. Well, and the fact is, you try to sound exactly like them, but you don't. You can't. So no matter how hard you try, you're going to wind up sounding like yourself. And once you realize that, then you have to just go with it.
In the Sun record, Blue Moon of Kentucky, I think Elvis was trying to do his doggonest and hardest to sound a little bit like Bill Monroe, in a way, because he had that real high pitch, and he ended up coming up with his own sound.
We've never been fortunate enough to have Bruce on the show in person, but Eric has, I think, queued up and ready a little audio clip that we have of Bruce talking about you favorably, of course, and then you talking about him favorably, of course.
Garry, bass player, is instinctive, plays his own way, sounds like himself. One of the great gentlemen in the E Street Band, always calm, collected, incredibly steady, just a lovely man,
It doesn't have to be natural. It's something that you can learn, and we've learned it. We've learned to know each other. We've just gotten to know each other so well that I can watch him and pretty much figure out where he's heading. Not always, and but it's just one of those things that's we have that ability just from all the shows we've done together, and it would be a shame to stop doing it at this point.
Nice.
Yeah, it would be a shame, right? After all these years.
You and he are still the only, I shouldn't say you and he are the only founding members now, right?
Unfortunately, that's true. Very sad that we've lost a couple of our key players. But you have to remember that Steve Van Zandt was, even though he wasn't in the band the whole time, he was really one of the guys in the hood. And Steven and I played together probably more than Bruce in the early days. So yeah, Steven was definitely a force in the band early on.
And Niles?
Well, Nils joined. He joined in at the height of the Born in the USA phenomenon,
like 75.
So yeah, we call him the new guy, but he's been with us 25 years. So I guess he's not the new guy anymore.
No, he's ready for the gold watch.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to ask you about Stay Away. I have the record. It comes with a beautiful picture sleeve on DeVille Records, I might add, out of Nashville. And when I played it for the first time, immediately I started thinking of My Baby Left Me and Scotty Moore and Elvis, 1956. Is there any connection, I mean, as far as you're concerned, or is this just coincidental?
It's a total ripoff.
Okay! Well, I loved it, and I've always loved that about My Baby Left Me. In fact, it was my favorite side of the record when it came out. But what an outstanding record, and Stay Away is terrific too. With we should say Miss Christy Rose. We got to give her credit too.
Oh yeah, she's phenomenal. And she'll be touring with us and doing some solo spots when we get on the road. She's a terrific singer and a terrific gal.
Johnny, you're going to love the way Stay Away starts. Eric, you want to go ahead and play that?
Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love My Baby Left Me.
Well, you're going to love this.
All right, here we go.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh boy.
Well, stay away from me, girl. Stay the hell away. The cost of your love is too high price. I don't want to pay. You've taken everything I own with my sanity. Go find yourself another fool. Stay away from me. Stay the hell away. 'Cause if we got back together, I know what I'll hear. I missed you, sweetheart, sweetly in my ear. And if we start loving, I know what I'll find. You're back in my heart, and I'm out of my mind. You're back in my heart, and I'm out of my mind.
Cool.
Stay away from me, man, stay the hell away. Because your love is too high price, and I
A lot of cool changes in that. I
Very
like it.
cool tune. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, outstanding.
Yeah.
Who's the female singer?
The inspiration for that, I have to admit, was besides ripping off My Baby Left Me, which I think I didn't hear it in the beginning there, but yeah, we were just looking for a way to start it, and so we said, well, do that thing they did on My Baby Left Me, and it worked, and there you go. But the influence for the song was really Wanda Jackson. I Gotta Know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that song, but I just loved how it would go from the country thing to the rockabilly bop, and then back into the country waltz. I just thought it was cool, so I borrowed that too.
Yeah, cool. No,
Well, and coincidentally, we had Wanda Jackson on our show about a month ago, and we had Paul Evans on the show who wrote I Gotta Know. So there's all kinds of tie-ins here.
You guys just have everybody on.
Well, we got you now, so we feel like we've pretty much done everything we needed to do.
Yeah, we
6 degrees, right?
we're dedicated to keeping rock and roll legends alive
All right,
here
well,
in Seattle, man.
Sign me up.
You're signed up and you're on.
I would say there's a good chance you met Wanda Jackson since you've been in Nashville.
I did get to meet her once. and she's a delightful person.
Yes.
I probably glommed all over her because I'm such a big fan. You know, I get a little tongue-tied when I meet my idols like that.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, Wanda was, one of the original great rockabilly artists, and she's still going, just like you, man.
Yeah, no, I heard it just recently, and she's still great.
Yeah,
she's still great. And I love the album that she did with Jack White.
Yes,
a couple years ago.
The guitar playing on that album was out of sight.
Yeah,
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was a real great hybrid of even though it was true to her, a very very modern production. Yeah, great album.
Loved it.
Great album. Anybody that hasn't heard that needs to run out and get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm down to 2.5 minutes. Please tell our listeners, Garry, about everything that's going on with you. Website, Facebook, new releases. Take it on.
Well, I'm getting ready to head for Australia for about a month with the E Street Band.
Cool.
And looking forward to that and have a little summer down under. But then when I get back, we're going to take break time on the road, and the original band that played on the record will be traveling with me.
Very cool.
And we're going to hit some clubs. Probably won't get out west, but we'll go from Nashville up toward Detroit and then back over to New York and probably do a couple shows in Asbury Park just for old time's sake. And then after that's over, we're going to head to England and do a few weeks over there, which I'm very excited about.
Well,
So the record is out. It's been out almost a year now. But I've kind of been busy with other things, so now it's time to get to maybe playing some break time music live.
Cool.
Hopefully, if anybody is curious to hear it, I believe Amazon has some more. We kind of sold out a couple times because I never expected it to be as popular as it turned out to be.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Garry Tallent on Viva ENT. Garry, say goodbye to our listeners.
Good night, everybody, and thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
Oh, it was great. It was great, Garry. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT.
Everybody stay tuned. We're going to talk to Gretchen Christopher. After these words, Jerry Osborne will join us.
Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at SaturnBarter.com.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rentals specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue Showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, They're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number's 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
This is Johnny the Gangster with Viva Productions, King of Entertainment. One-stop shop for all your entertainment needs. We have DJ service for weddings, corporate, and private events. Thrill your guests with Vegas Nights Casino Party, blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, and more. We also have event photography and limousine service. Call Viva Productions 206-542-5733 or find us at viva-productions.com. A little less conversation, a little more action, you got it. Call Johnny the Gangster. I'll make you a deal you can't refuse.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com. That's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com. Check out bridesclub.com.
Ready to shake things up? Try Alternative Talk 1150.
Star lost all his glow the day that I lost you. He lost all his glitter the day you said no, and his silver turned to blue. Like him I am doubtful that your love is true, but if you decide to call on me, ask for Mr. Blue. I'm Mr. Blue. When you say you love me, Mr. Blue, then prove it by going out on the slide.
This is Viva ENT Radio, and you're hearing a little bit of the Fleetwoods. Mr. Blue, one of their big hits. Jerry Osborne is on the line with us right now to introduce our guest and maybe point out why we played a little bit of that song.
Well, I'm delighted to say that for her third or fourth time, I'm not sure now, we have Gretchen Christopher as our special guest, and every time we talk to Gretchen, we have new things to talk about, so this is no exception. We got some new stuff today that we know we never talked about before, and we're going to play a song a little later that has never been played on our show, and so it's going to be one big, fun afternoon. So, Gretchen, welcome to the show again.
Thank you, and you're so right. This will be information that we haven't shared before.
That's right, and I would like to start off, because Eric played Mr. Blue, and ask you, how many takes did it require until you got all of those harmonies and everything the way that they came out so perfectly on the record?
Oh, I don't know, Jerry. But we
More
recorded.
than one?
Oh, yes. We recorded it, and, of course, Come Softly to Me, and Graduation's Here, and everything that's on the Mr. Blue album. We recorded all of those a cappella, if you can believe it,
I don't.
in Seattle.
I do.
And yeah, and then the instruments were overdubbed in L.A., and very few instruments, mainly guitar and bass, and there was Cy Zentner on trombone on Mr. Blue, and we also did Unchained Melody a cappella, and I was singing lead on that, and I was very embarrassed because I was screwing up my face with emotion, and our producer, Bob Reisdorf, wasn't real happy with how it was coming out. So we asked Connie Barton, the engineer, we asked Bob to leave. I think I asked him to leave. And and for Carney to turn out the lights and let us sing it a cappella in the dark. And so I mainly led the group just with my breathing, since I was, singing lead, so they would know where to come in. And it has become a very popular item on the Internet. I see it called up and played by people, especially, I think, the a cappella version as we recorded it. When it came out on the Mr. Blue album, a few bass notes, and a few finger cymbals were added as the only backing to it. But the stripped-down version is very popular all these, 50 or 60 years later.
So you recorded these then here in Washington, and then you just went down there with the tapes?
Well, actually, our producers, Bob Reisdorf and Bonnie Guitar, took the tapes down to L.A. and had them overdubbed. And, yes, we had recorded them in Seattle. Come Softly to Me was at Joe Bowles' basement studio in West Seattle. And the rest of them, I'm not sure about I'm not sure about Graduations here, which studio we did that in. But Mr. Blue and all of those album songs, including Unchained Melody, were recorded at Carney Barton's Northwest Recorders. And that's it was considered 6th Avenue and Union. And it was funny, there was a pancake house next to us or very close to the studio. And then when Liberty Records bought Dalton Records, they had been distributing it, but they bought it after a couple of years. There was a pancake house there. And now that's my favorite place to go with Voss, to the pancake house.
Who would have ever thought that pancakes would figure into your career?
Figure. Now there's a good... yeah, I have to watch my figure with pancakes.
Well,
yes.
We won't even go there. You mentioned earlier when you were talking about singing lead, I've always thought it was interesting how all three of the Fleetwoods were in their own right lead singers, and you all did sing lead at one time or another, and then you all sang together at other times too. So what do you think about that?
Well, yes, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I really wanted to add that on our last interview, because I had made the point that I had been the original lead singer, singing the music and lyrics, melody and lyrics that I had written, called Come Softly. And then in the studio, our producer, Bob Reisdorf, when we were recording that, he said, we recorded over and over for 5 months, if you can believe it. Well, he tried to figure out how to handle it, because it was really self-contained, really didn't need much backing. But anyway, he said, hey, that background part is so catchy, the dum-dum-dum-doo-dum. And he said to Garry, why don't you add lyrics to your part? And so Garry did, and then it became, instead of just a female lead, a shared male-female lead. And then the Graduations here was my lead. Barbara and I had written that for our high school graduation, because the kids at school, when they heard Come Softly a cappella on the stage there, they just loved it and asked us if we'd write one for the graduation. And then our next one was Mr. Blue, and that was Gary's lead. Obviously, that would be a male lead. But I don't know if I told you this, because I don't want to repeat this particularly, but Garry really didn't want to sing it. He didn't like the song. I said, it's a wonderful song, and I said to the writer, Dwayne Blackwell, but why don't you have your group, the Blackwells, do it, brother and sisters? And he said, because if we recorded it, nobody'd ever hear of it. But if the Fleetwoods record it, every disc jockey in the country will play it. And he was right, and like Come Softly to Me, it became another #1 hit, making us, as some journalist pointed out to me, the first group in the world to have 2 #1 hits top the Billboard Hot 100 in a single year.
And the first 2 gold records ever from the Northwest.
That's right. So it's such fun to be a first. We were exceeded eventually by, matched, except they weren't the first, by the, Frankie and the Four Seasons. And they had 2 in 1 year, but it was like 4 years after us, 3 or 4 years after us.
Yeah, that was 1962.
There you go. So 3 years
Sherry
after
and Big Girls Don't Cry.
Aha. Ask Mr. Music. He knows.
Oh, once in a while I get it right. I noticed in Graduations, the song Between, Come Softly, and Mr. Blue had a different kind of opening, and I'm wondering, did you come up with that, or did Garry, or was it a team effort? But da-da-da-dee-dum, dee-dum, da-da-da-dee-dum is different than the other two.
Right. Well, no, actually, the song was, as Barbara and I had written, it was complete unto itself. But we needed a follow-up to our number 1 hit, and I begged Bob Reisdorf to let us record Graduations here because it was our song, and meaningful. But it didn't have a male part in it, and so I asked Garry, could you come up with another sort of dum-dum part in counterpoint? And that's what he came up with, and I recorded it on my new album, Gretchen Sweet 16, and I beefed up the tempo a little bit to try to, because we have so many sad songs, and I wanted to make that a little happier. It does get rather sad at the end, wistful, and slows down at the end. What was I going to say? Oh, I tried recording it just myself in harmony, and I asked my daughter, do you miss the other part, the counterpoint? And she said, yeah, I do. And so John Worsley, who had been our West Coast Mr. Blue, and he sang Mr. Blue with us when we kicked off my album with a concert in Las Vegas. Anyway, he really wanted to sing Mr. Blue on my solo CD, and I said, no, John, this is my solo CD, and it's all songs I've written, and I did not write Mr. Blue. But anyway, I did invite him to sing the woe-do-dum part that you did just a moment ago.
Well, I probably destroyed it, but you got the idea.
Well, I'm kind of hoarse because I've been rehearsing to tracks for a concert I'm doing March 16th for Sweet 16. 16, and I'm a little hoarse. I think I've been probably overdoing it. But what was I going to say? Oh, I was in the studio yesterday, too, up in Tacoma, where I finished the Gretchen Sweet 16 album. And I had wanted to do an album called 18, follow-up to Sweet 16. And I got reunited with the piano player who had accompanied Pat Suzuki at the Colony Club in Seattle and accompanied me dancing the combo, the jazz combo there. And we got back together again recently, a couple of years ago, when I was 18 as a leap year baby. And I thought it would be fun to record the songs that I used to sit in with jazz groups at jazz clubs and sing. I'd sing 3 songs. We wouldn't rehearse or anything. I'd just let them know what key and what songs. Do we both know these songs? And so half a century later, Bud Schultz and I got together and recorded actually in my living room, because he said that way he could play my grand piano, which he said he loved, and he thought it loved him too. And so I spent yesterday from 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon with the engineer going over these recordings to see, unfortunately, the man who recorded them didn't get the levels right. I'm very clear that the vocals should always be on top so that you can hear the lyrics. And but anyway, my engineer from Sweet 16 is working on 18. And I don't know if we'll just put out maybe one or two songs online just as a tribute to Bud, who is 18 in reverse, 81 when we recorded this. I was 18 and he was 81. Now I'm 19 and he's 83. Go figure.
Well, I wanted to point out that the connection between the title of Sweet 16 is that when you have a birthday once every 4 years, you don't reach 16 quite as quickly as most of us do. So 16 would have been 2004, I think, right?
Yes, I think that is right.
Yeah, and so that means that last year, 2016, would have been another year when you had a birthday, but sorry, you get left out this year.
Thank goodness. Oh, I'm sort of not really looking forward to the year 2020 because that's when I'll be 20.
Yes,
and no longer a teenager.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You'll get be able to vote or something. I don't remember what. I want to clarify something. Not everyone knows what you mean when you use the word counterpoint. So can you explain that for the people who don't know what that means?
Yeah. The melody that I wrote was, I'll just sing a little bit of it. Come softly, darling, come to me, stay. You're my obsession forever and a day. I shouldn't even attempt this, and I put it in a low key because I'm kind of hoarse. But so Garry Troxell was invited in. We didn't even know his name at the time, but Barbara and I had we had blues. We thought it'd be nice to add a blues trumpet to a jazz standard we were doing, and so I went to a band there, a little in school, and they sent in Garry Troxell, but he couldn't sing in our key. For Stormy Weather was the song, and that was the end of that. Except he walked me downtown after school, where I was going to meet my mother and go to my dance classes, and he started going. Dum 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 doo dum and doobie doo dum 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 doo dum and doobie doo dum 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 doo dum and doobie doo dum 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 doo dum, sort of under his breath and that fast. And I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Oh, it's just some jazz trumpet riff I have in my mind." And I said, "Well, I can tell it's based on the same chord progression as the song that I'm writing, so keep it up, but slow it down." And so then I put them together in counterpoint, and what counterpoint means is that there are two different melodies and actually two different rhythms as well in this case, but they can be sung together and they work. Where the chord changes come, both songs are within those given chord changes, and that was the magic of Come Softly when I put them together in counterpoint. Neither part was that remarkable on its own. Did that answer the question enough?
Well, you did, and I was wondering then if any other of your hit records were done in counterpoint.
Well, yes. When I asked Garry if he could come up with another dum-dum part, dom-dom part, D-O-M, I prefer to spell it.
Yeah.
And he came up with that whoa dum 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 da dee da dee dum, and I'm singing graduation. Oh my! So that's another example of it. And let's see, are there other? I don't know if doo-wop records. Not really. Not well. Come Go With Me had counterpoint, didn't it?
I don't know. You're the expert.
Yeah, I think one part is going dum 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 be doo be dum, and another part is going dum 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 dum, or something of that sort. It's not as grand an example as Come Softly to Me. But anyway, Bach's music, Bach, the classical composer, used counterpoint, and I had been raised on classical and jazz and Broadway tunes, and so that's probably where I got the what seemed like an innate understanding of how to put things together in counterpoint.
Well, you did a beautiful job, that's for sure. I didn't realize, Gretchen, that this would turn out to be such a dumb conversation.
I didn't either.
But
we were going to talk about new things.
Before we run out of time, you better introduce the song that we want to play from your album.
Oh, well, Come Softly to Me. I thought if we can only play one song clear through, that's kind of my trademark song. And this is from the album Gretchen Sweet 16. And, of course, I hope everybody will order it as Valentine gifts because it's a very romantic album.
Sure is.
16 songs and a 16-page booklet of liner notes and pictures. And so it's kind of like the soundtrack of a Broadway musical. I mean, it tells the story, and there's even a centerfold, and that's my boss.
Well, it's the definition of a concept album.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. I remember you saying that in the review you wrote, which I appreciated. You really you wrote a fine review, and it was distinctive too.
Well, you know I'm a member of your team.
Oh, well, you certainly have become. We've never met, but we are definitely friends.
more than friends, probably. I think Eric has his finger on the trigger. Maybe we should let him press the button.
Okay, and I guess we're going to have to do another one interview when I tell you what I'm the tape that I just discovered.
We always have more to talk about. Yes.
Okay.
Hit it, Eric.
Dum doo dum dooby doo dum 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 doo dum dooby doo dum 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 doo dum dooby doo. Come softly, darling, 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 dooby doo. Come softly, darling. Come to me, stay. You're my obsession forever and a day. I want you to know and doobie-doo. I love you so and doobie-doo. Please hold me so tight and doobie-doo. All through the night. I speak softly, darling, hear what I say. I love you always, always, always. I've waited so long and for your kisses and your love and doobie-doo. Please come to me and doobie-doo from above. I softly, want you to know and doobie-doo. Come softly, I love you so and doobie-doo. I need you so much and doobie-doo. Wanna feel your warm touch and doobie-doo. Dum 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 doo dum and doobie-doo. Dum 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 doo dum and doobie-doo. Dum 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 doo dum and doobie-doo. Dum 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 doo dum.
Beautiful job, considering the difference between 1960 and 2004 when you did that.
Yes, 1959. Actually,
yeah,
well,
right.
We actually recorded it, Jerry, in 1958.
Oh.
Yeah, we finished it, and then it was released January of '59. But we recorded it for 5 months. I was at Whitman College at the time, and I was told I had to leave and go on tour. That's what Barbara told me, and I said no. And but then we did. We went in February, so just about a year ago, 50 years ago or something.
Gretchen, before Eric chases us off, why don't you tell everyone how they can reach you on the internet or however, and you probably would be willing to sign copies of this for maybe Valentine gifts or whatever, just to the people who order it.
I would be delighted to. Yes, And you can reach me, and thank you for asking, Jerry, at www.goldcupmusic.com is where you can order the album, and you can hear sound clips. Even, you don't have to order to hear it. You can hear 30-second sound clips, and then you'll just be so enamored of it that I know you will order it.
Yes, they will.
And of course, GretchenChristopher.com and thefleetwoods.com. All of these websites end in .com, and they all have a link that says Sweet 16 CD, SUITE.
And we're going to have to leave it there.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Gretchen. Thank you. And we will talk again. We have so much more to talk about.
Oh, I know.
Thank you, Eric.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. Thanks to Garry Tallent, Gretchen Christopher from the Fleetwoods, Dave Lou, Jerry Osborne, Eric C.C. Ryder. This is Johnny the Copper. We're digging out. See you later, because you are a fine sweet potato. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.